We welcome you in to the highlights for the second game of two in the opening series of the MPBL between the Las Vegas Four Aces and the Los Angeles Bolts. We saw in the first game that the Bolts took game one in extras. We'll see if they can get a two-game sweep to open up the campaign before they head back to their home stadiums, or if the Four Aces can split the series at the Polo Grounds. So here we go. Starting game number two, day game for these two teams. And as you can see, the lineups remained relatively unchanged from the first game between the two. Joe Ryan pitching for the Bolts in this matchup. Tanner Bibby on the bump for the Four Aces. So let's jump into the highlights of game number two. We're going to jump into the third inning already. Not much action. A couple base runners as Connor Joe grounds one, and it'll be a double play. Joe Ryan, solid first three innings for him. Low pitch count and not much action going on for the Vegas offense. Likewise, for the Bolts offense, James Triantos strikes out. Tanner Bibby 9 up, 9 down in the bottom of the third. Top four, Lewis Robert Jr. 1 out, nobody on base. 0 for 1 in the contest. He sends one to right field, and it hits the bottom of the foul pole for a home run. 287 feet. That's all it was, but hey, we told you it could happen here in the Polo Grounds. And Lewis Robert Jr. takes advantage of it as he hits an opposite field home run to make it 1-0. As you can see, not impressive exit velo on that ball at all, but it got out, and that might be the shortest home run in MPBL history. We'll see if anybody tops it down the road. We jump to the bottom of the fifth. Again, not much action. Tanner Bibby dealing. He strikes out James Triantos, the rookie, again. That was Bibby's 8th punch out of the contest, and he was dealing. Let's go to the top of the sixth. Now Joe Ryan's 67th pitch of the game hits a deep fly ball to Leody Taveras, and 67 pitches in 6 innings. Joe Ryan was having himself quite a fine afternoon as well beside the home run. Bibby dealing. Bottom six, Leody Taveras, who's had a very tough series at the Polo Grounds. He strikes out there. That was Bibby's 9th punch out of the contest. Orlando Arcia makes it number 10. Just disgusting stuff from Tanner Bibby today. Really impressive to see. One guy we thought we'd see some sparks out of, Pete Alonso. He got a hit in his first at-bat, but a soft ground ball to first base there. And Tanner Bibby, solid performance. 102 pitches through 6 innings, though. The Bolts were able to work up his pitch count. Lewis Robert Jr., fresh off the home run, gets a leadoff single in the top of the 7th inning. That was Joe Ryan's final pitch of the contest. Sir Anthony Dominguez would come into the game to pitch. Brandon Belt batting now. The next one up, and Lewis Robert Jr. steals second base. Had himself quite a performance, did Robert, and so did Brandon Belt. He singles one up the right side. Throw from the right fielder was poor. Lewis Robert Jr. scores, and a second run for the Four Aces came in the top of the 7th inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Bibby, 105 pitches, still gunning it. Kyle Schwarber sends a pop-up to center field, but it's in no man's land, and that gets down for a lead-off single from Kyle Schwarber. That would send Tanner Bibby out of the game. Really just an unlucky pitch there that wasn't hit all that hard. Bibby out of the game. Pierce Johnson into the game. An unbelievable performance from Bibby. 10 strikeouts in the contest. Got high in the pitch count, had to be pulled. Pierce Johnson enters the game. Jared Kalenic can't hold his swing. He strikes out. Pierce Johnson looking pretty good, and unfortunately for the Bolts, this could be a team that we see a lot of strikeouts from this year. Johnson gets Eugenio Suarez on a nasty breaking ball. So Johnson gets out of a little bit of trouble there, and the Bolts held scoreless through 8. We head to the 9th. Brandon Belt is batting. Down to his last strike. Down to the last strike for the team at the plate, but Brandon Belt launches one up and off the top of the facade, 116-mile-per-hour home run. Brandon Belt, second home run of the year. He homered in game number 1 as well. And the veteran first baseman getting it done in the Polo Grounds throwback stadium, maybe a throwback player. He stepped up big for this Four Aces team, and that gave him some nice insurance runs there. Belt crushes it off of Phil Bickford. This thing almost got out of the stadium. It was close. Hit the top of the roof. Phil Maton off of the glove of Belt. That's kind of how it was, unfortunately, for the Bolts. Just a crazy play there. Off Belt's glove. Willie Castro, right place, right time. Maton covering the bag. And like I said, that's how it went for the Bolts, unfortunately, today when they did get a ball in play. Maton pitched the 8th inning, 3 up, 3 down. He pitches the 9th inning as well, trying to get that 6-out save, and he gets an ugly swing and miss from Kyle Schwarber to end it. A shutout victory for the Las Vegas Four Aces. They roll 4-0. Not an exciting game by any stretch, but really nice to see the Four Aces perform and get the win. There you see the box score. Lewis Robert Jr., Brandon Belt, 3 hits apiece. Brandon Crawford, the veteran, also with a couple of hits, and you see the Bolts offense, 14 strikeouts combined, and unfortunately we might see a lot of that this year with the Bolts offense. Let's talk about what we're going to see. This is going to be live on Twitch this Friday coming up, July 11th at noon Central Time. We have the San Diego Fleet taking on the New Orleans Voodoo, followed by the Mackinac Island Torquay against the Wyoming baseball team. Blake Snell versus Justin Verlander, going to be a great pitching matchup. Same for the nightcap as well. The Dallas Rough Riders taking on the Oakland Seawolves. Spencer Strider and Max Scherzer going at it in that matchup. All 3 of these matchups, by the way, are AL matchups. We just saw an NL matchup in the Polo Grounds series. We're going to see these 3 matchups in succession, one after another, again, starting at noon Central Time. That's going to be live over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Syndrome44. From there, we're going to view 1 game a week live on Twitch. So we'll see you in a couple days on Twitch for opening day.